The Tin Man. You.
I don't know. That looked almost like NSYNC. Bye bye.
Okay, no, that was kind of like the Scarecrow. That's me though,
Okay.
because I have no brain. Okay, so from movies to video games, welcome to Replays It All. Today's episode is Late to the Game with my co-host, Vitamin D.
Vitamin D. I'll take vitamin D. It's good for you. You know, but you got to take me in small increments. If you do too much, you'll get nauseous. So take me in small increments.
The more you know. Seriously, I didn't
Boom,
know
boom,
that.
boom. All right. So late to the game, from video games to video games, from movies to video games. Here we are, whacktastically watching, whacktastically, slaptastically watching these movies that we,
Yeah.
do things that Marie's so late to watching and having to just explain stuff.
Stop it.
We don't
Daniel's
record for a
glitching.
while. This is how they come out.
Daniel's glitching, you guys.
Okay. Am I explaining what the game's about now?
With the show, yeah.
Late to the game where I make Marie watch movies that she should have embarrassingly seen. And I ask her a series of questions before she watches them. To the best of her knowledge, she has to answer them, and we can see how right and how wrong, mostly they're wrong. Matter of fact, every single time they're wrong, she is. When we come back and watch the movie, and then we compare the notes. If I pick a movie, though, that she's already seen, she gets to Uno reverse card me, and she forces me to watch a movie, which has only happened once so far in the show.
Yeah, it hasn't happened in a while. I have one prepared only because Daniel has seen so many movies, and I'm like, and there's ones that I think he hasn't seen, and he's like, "Oh, I've seen it. I've seen only chick
Mermaid,
flicks," and I'm like, "What? Mermaid's fun."
seen it. So, are you ready for the movie? I got a good one for you today. Here's a movie. Ex Machina.
Oh no.
Do you have any idea what this is about? Have you even heard the
Um.
title?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We're half a step in.
I maybe have seen like pictures on Instagram of like what it is, but I don't know if I'm gonna get confused with something else.
Like I did with Moonstruck.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So you know what time it is. Pop quiz, hot shot. All right. Very first question. What is the movie about?
The movie is about a female robot or a bunch of robots, but particularly about this one female robot. Who's in it? It's not Oscar Isaac, is it? I don't know. But and then there's a man and he makes robots. And maybe he has this one robot companion girl that he bonds with. And then this robot girl is in peril, this danger, and then he has to save her life, but to save his life, he has to sacrifice himself.
She needs a heart now. He's got to rip his heart out and give it to her. He's got to
Yeah.
kalima it.
Kalima.
Able to do.
Okay, wait. Something's gonna happen. He's gonna become more of like a human and he's gonna become attached to her because
Does
she's
he
gonna
become more of a
develop these
robot?
emotions. All men are robots.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, you got to plug me in every once in a while.
Yeah, so maybe he's gonna be too like attached to this robot lady.
She's a lady, so she's a classy
Yeah.
robot.
Yes, she is mademoiselle. She's not some bitch robot. That's what he's learning though. Like and then it's really gonna be a story about how by her becoming more human makes him feel more human as well. And it's gonna be
So,
like, yeah.
so he builds a bunch of robots. There's
Hmm.
one robot that he falls in love with for some reason,
Yeah.
and then because he gets her to start feeling more like a human, he starts feeling like a human because he's been surrounded by the robots that he's built. So he feels emotion like humanless. Am I
Well,
getting that
because
right?
he just makes these robots for some purpose I'm not sure yet, and he doesn't look at them like that. But then when he finally sees this one, the way he sees this one, then he like finally has a heart, like the Tin Man.
Did he build her with like a thick ass?
Of course, remember it's the one constant
Yeah,
in life.
duh. Okay, but you still don't know why he's. But why I need a reason why he's building these robots
Oh, they're like service robots. They're like female robots that service people.
in the non-sexual or sexual ways. I'm assuming. Is that what
Yeah,
you're hinting at?
whatever you want them to be, okay?
I mean, I would like one to clean my house. That'd be nice.
You're gonna
Clean
say
my
clean
house.
my ass.
Hey, I do my own cleaning. Okay, the more you
Mm.
know.
I don't. I have a bidet, like a classy mademoiselle. Well, mine's kind of like a robot in a sense, and I like really have feelings for this bidet because whenever I go on a trip or anything, and I or to someone's house and there isn't one there, I'm like, God, I miss that bidet.
Just use our faucet as a bidet.
I'm not gonna tell you what I do in that case.
Heyo. All right.
Better make sure I
So
never poop in your house, Daniel.
let's not eat Taco Bell when you come out here. So what is the opposition? What's the vig? What's the thing? What's the bad guy? What's the juicy parts? Where's the confrontation come from?
The juicy parts of the big metal booties that these ones have, these robots. No, okay, I don't know. He's gonna realize that all the people who are buying these robots are the bad people. I don't know why, but they are. Like you're gonna buy it's like sex robot, and I don't know. Maybe there's no one who's bad. Maybe it's just sad. And then he realizes that making these robots and they kind of have feelings, and he's like, I can't do that to these robots because they're like slaves and they're developing
Mm.
feelings.
So it sounds like the bad people then are the consumers, people that are buying these and treating them like
Yes.
machines and not like women.
Yes, and they don't know it at the time, but then there's
Mm.
some people that kind of realize that they have emotion and they don't care.
So that's why they call it Ex Machina, because they used to be identify as machines and now they don't anymore and they identify as Ex machines.
Did I just figure out this
I like
movie?
it. Maybe.
Okay.
who who plays the eccentric genius?
Is it Oscar
And it's
Isaac?
not that person.
I'm gonna say Oscar Isaac. I don't know why.
Is that who you're going with?
Okay. Yeah, I'll go with him. I don't know why I feel like I see him with like wild hair and like glasses and like facial hair in something, and maybe it's this. I don't know.
Sucker Punch, maybe. Okay. What was the
Oh,
real reason? What was the real reason why this protagonist was selected for this program?
was selected for this program. Okay, so I think that it's about the female robot, and I think she was selected because I think it's based on like her appearance or her face. I know there's a face, and it's going to be based on she was chosen because she's like the most. If you were to make a woman for men, she had like the perfect face. That's like what people would choose would be her.
Okay.
So she's the fairest of them all, and all the men would want her. So let's take her face and put it on the thing.
You sound exhausted after that answer. Which activity does the genius perform with the robot in front of the protagonist?
I'm gonna say they're gonna like dance. They're gonna do like some tango or some shit.
Hanko. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
not a tango. Fine, fine.
No, you already said it.
A
You already said
a
tango.
merengue. They're doing the merengue.
Now you're just being stereotypical because you said Oscar Isaac, and we as a people do not appreciate stereotypes, even though we do dance to that music.
I mean, I don't even know what country the merengue is from. So,
Even better. You're doing better. Thank you. My people are well
right.
represented on this show. What is the experiment?
See, I'm looking at it more as like a company, not an experiment. Like a company that makes like an ideal companion for people, and they can do whatever. This is a different movie. Like, what movie is this from? This reminds me of like Blade
Megan
Runner in a way.
or
No, not
Megan?
Megan. No, that's a child. I'm not gonna think.
Yeah, but it's a companion for a child. I mean, it's exactly what you're
Okay,
describing.
okay. So this is a companion for big boys, or girls, I guess. And I guess the experiment is to see if you can find the same satisfaction and same fulfillment with a robot companion as you would with a human being who has a soul.
I'm talking about emotionally, or talking about physically and sexually.
I'm saying emotionally because I tie in the sexually with the emotionally. And that's what I'm saying. The emotional, if the emotional is needed,
Okay.
is it necessary?
Okay. How do they tailor this experiment to fit the protagonist?
Well, they tailor it after her whole personality.
They
Is that what
first
I mean?
personality or face? Or
Well,
does a robot
most
act like her? Because then if you have a robot that acts like you and looks like you, what's the difference of me just sending it off to work and having it work and I can just be a fat fuck staying at home?
that's what the world's coming to.
Stay home and watch Tubi movies.
Yeah, that's what it's coming to. Well, I think maybe it can't capture someone's personality altogether, but maybe stuff that she can do, like the merengue and other dances. Maybe she's doing an Irish jig, I'm not gonna stereotype.
The
Um,
Irish jig.
maybe she's like could dance, or maybe she is really good at other stuff. Painting, I don't know, some shit. Like say she has like talents. Maybe
What's
the
it?
robot can do those things. And it has her face.
Does the
And
robot
that's
do the
how it's
robot?
better than you've ever seen.
I believe it. So what's her talent then? Is she a pianist? Does she play the flute? Does she crochet?
She plays the harpsichord.
Of course, naturally. Okay. The movie is loosely based on which William Shakespeare play?
Ah,
Do you know a William Shakespeare play?
I okay. I don't know, because all I know is like
Romeo and
Romeo and
Juliet.
Juliet and Hamlet and Macbeth and A Midsummer Night's Dream. Yeah, I don't know, because I think it's going to be like a lovey thing, obviously. So I want to Romeo and Juliet, I guess. She's going to malfunction, and he's going, no,
Gonna sacrifice himself with his heart. Nah. When he sees
no.
it. Why didn't he just build another one of her then? But it's that specific model. So what's specific about her model then? So if he can't just build another one of her and craft her face to look the same, what's different about her then?
Maybe she's like a new a new model he's testing out to want to see if you could bring like some sort of like feelings and emotions into like a robot, and then he's like keeping her aside, testing her out to be like the next generation model to see if people are like, oh, I don't like doing things without an emotion attached to it. So he's like, okay, well, let me try to get some emotion out of this bitch, and then he
So wouldn't this be tailored towards the female consumers? So maybe he's building a male model with the
I'm
emotions.
not
No, you don't want to think about that.
I don't think I don't know why there's not going to be male model robots in this. I just don't think there is.
Pretty sexist of you.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it is. I'm
See, you have a
standing
very
by it though.
specific, you have a very specific image on what you want to see in these movies. Damn what the filmmaker's telling you.
Well, if the filmmaker decides to tell me that he's going to make male robots too, I will accept it. But in the vision I have for it in my mind, and from what I've seen, like small pictures of it online, there's no male robots. I don't think.
Which are the three colors prominently displayed in each scene?
Blue, white,
Right.
and black.
Okay.
I'm trying to think about a sterile
Um,
work robot environment.
any reason? Yeah. Why those colors?
Yeah, because I picture that being, yeah, like I said, I'm picturing like a white room where all these robots are kept, and then there's like they're like grayish, shiny. So it's like, and I don't know, there's like white backgrounds. They're in like a white room, sterile room.
Okay. What's black and what's blue?
It represents his black and blue beaten heart by the end of the movie.
There you go. Good. What does the protagonist do to manipulate the experiment?
Mm. She changes. Oh, she just go. I guess, are modeling things after her, right? Oh. Ooh, okay, it could get
Oh, so to
really
you,
dark.
the protagonist is a real female that the
Yes,
robot is modeled after. Got it. Okay.
2 answers. Okay, if it's a real female that it's taken after based on, I think she's gonna do something really dark, like mark up her face and gets a gross face so that they can't use her face anymore.
Ooh,
Or I know, no more. She
I
doesn't care
like
about
it.
her beauty anymore, and then she's not even unique anymore because all these robots look like her. So she's
Mm-hmm.
gonna do something to her
Good.
face.
Good story.
Yeah,
I like it.
if it's the robot, I don't know. I think she's just gonna be a robot, so she's probably just gonna somehow destroy all the other
Malfunction.
robots. She's getting jealous. That's why she's getting jealous, because Oscar Isaac is paying attention to these other ones trying to upgrade them, and she's like, "No, I'm the upgrade, only me." And then he's like, "What? I need to do this for it's for the other guys. I swear, it's for the consumer." And she's like, "Yeah, BS. I've heard that before." And then she like sabotages it, so it's only her. He can only love me. That's what she's doing to do.
That doesn't sound very robotic. That sounds very humanistic.
That's the point of her. That's why she's special.
What happens to the protagonist at the end of the movie?
Well, since it's based on Romeo and Juliet, I think she's gonna self-destruct.
Well, I thought
And
the protagonist was the human.
yeah, she's gonna kill herself. And
You're forgetting what movie you're pitching me.
no, I have two answers for it. I have two answers. All right. It's still the same thing. Like the protagonist is still the same person, just one's robot form and one's human form. And they're both gonna die, and he's gonna die too. Because he's like, oh,
Do
my
they die
loves.
together? Loves. Do they die together? Like, are they holding
No,
hands? Do they kill each other?
I think she kills herself in front of him, and then he kills himself out of guilt.
Okay. Okay. Good. Let's see how right or how wrong you are. Movie time.
My straw has gone flaccid. You have those cardboard straws too?
Yeah, I hate those. I hate
That's
them.
what I mean. It's all
They
soggy.
disintegrate, and then yeah, you try them,
Ugh.
and it's like I don't want to eat cardboard. And we're back.
I'm excited. I'm excited about this one. I mean, because maybe I really didn't like it, and I'm like, why'd you make me watch this?
Of course, yeah.
Why?
I mean, everybody that's watched Ex Machina has hated it. Every single one. You
I
couldn't see what
I
I was
I
doing, but I was turning on my fan and I was pressing it for emphasis. Every single one. And I went from high speed, medium speed to low speed. It's an equipment, right? It's a robotic thing that I was having turn on to my demands.
won't be available to us in the future. Everything's just gonna be on full blast, and we will have no control.
Full blast, that's it. That's what they call full send, full go. Like what Charlie Sheen said, he only had one speed. Go. That's it.
I mean, blow.
Yeah. Blow go. Cheesy jokes. Always got to start off with a cheesy joke to start off with this.
Yeah.
This show would be nothing without cheesy jokes. We live off of that.
Yeah, which means the show would be nothing without you because you are the king of cheesy jokes and dad jokes and all that.
There's like a club that you have to sign up for to receive all these jokes that I receive. It's $2.99 that you receive monthly. But it does come with a commemorative t-shirt though. So Ex Machina, you just came back,
Mm,
you just watched it.
yes.
What was the movie about?
It is about the current state of the world.
Essentially, yes. You could almost argue
Yeah.
that every single movie's about that to some
Yeah,
extent.
but this was a very good time for you to force me to watch this movie. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
suiting Daniel. I see what you did there. Well played. It was good. This movie is about this, which is that eccentric? Would you call Oscar Isaac's character eccentric?
Definitely eccentric, yeah. He's a
Yeah.
genius, eccentric, which
Yeah.
usually go hand in hand.
Always go hand in hand. And usually
Mm-hmm.
evil with genius. Yes, and then he has a company that makes, I don't know, he like some sort of technology type company, but he's making an AI, and there's a winner from, I guess, I don't know, is that like from his work? Like he works for him, or is that just like, did he work for him? The
Yeah, he
guy?
worked for him. So he was one of his
Okay,
coders.
yeah. Oh yes, okay. And he won the prize to go basically stay with him for a while to see what he's working on and everything. And he discovers that he's working on an AI, but he's not allowed to talk about it or leave or anything. And then things ensue.
Which you would be a little surprised to know that's how Apple develops a new iPhones. That joke.
Sometimes you say things though, and I'm like, I just would believe it. I would just believe that that would be how they did it. So I'm like, and you're very smart. So I'm like, maybe Daniel knows things. We don't know.
No. See, the trick is I know absolutely nothing. I just say it, I deliver in a very way so that you think I know stuff. I don't.
The evil genius people.
So yeah, that's pretty much what it is. So basically, it's about somebody that gets to meet an eccentric genius who's developing AI technology to prove
Mhm.
if AIs can become so powerful, if humans can actually believe that they're humans. Who plays the eccentric genius?
Oscar Isaac, which I think I knew.
Yep.
I think I got that one right.
Yep. You got it right.
I
'Cause you
did.
saw
But
pictures.
he was so good in this movie. Oh my goodness.
Yes, he
Just
was.
like, whoa, Oscar
Best
Isaac.
performance.
Whoa.
Best performance. I loved him in this. The hard part about this movie is that it relies on phenomenal acting because you have
Hmm.
essentially a one location movie,
Hmm.
four actors,
Hmm.
that you have in this movie. That's it. Like they had to act, and three of them
Hmm.
speak. So really, like you
Mhm.
relies on just this and the phenomenal acting to keep you intrigued. Because if you would have casted, quick, name somebody that that you dislike.
Bradley Cooper.
There you go. If you would have casted Bradley Cooper in this, Marie would have hated the fact that I recommended this movie. But the fact that it's Oscar Isaac with shorter hair than she anticipated, with a longer beard maybe than she
Mhm.
anticipated, boom,
Mhm.
there he was.
Yeah.
Great movie.
You know what though? Bradley Cooper probably could have played that character pretty well. I'm not
Yeah.
saying he's a bad actor, just I wouldn't like to watch it. The visual would have been off for me.
What was the real reason why the protagonist was selected for this program? The real reason.
The protagonist is the dude. The dude, the
Yes.
Hux from Star Wars. It's
Yep.
kind of funny that they're both in the new Star Wars trilogy.
So yes, Hux from Star
Yeah.
Wars. He did a very good job in this.
So the real reason
Hmm.
why he was chosen is because he longed for interaction and connection with something because his parents died when he was young, and then he was kind of like a lonely guy with no girlfriend or anything, and and Nathan, Oscar Isaac's character, wanted someone who was probably easy to manipulate.
That's exactly it. Because he was the most easy to manipulate to see
Yeah.
and prove his theory that the technology works.
Yes, because the test wasn't on the robot AI to see how you can convince him if she was human. The test was on him to see how easily manipulated humans can be from AI.
Correct. Which always makes you feel like, okay, well, he's doing this for probably shareholders, right? Like look at the proof of concept. Here's how it can work. Here's why it can work. Now give me more money or buy this technology off of me. It's all at the end of the day, it's all greed. Which activity does the genius perform with the robot in front of the protagonist?
It was dancing. I was right. I was right. I don't know how, but I was wrong about the dance.
Very wrong about the dance. Very, very wrong about the dance. But hey, right on the activity. What is the experiment? Which we already kind of said.
Yeah, the experiment was said to be testing how real an AI can seem to humans, and if the humans could be kind of convinced that it was real. And
Hmm.
it really was a test on humans to see if they could be manipulated by AI.
And you
Mhm.
see it now where like we talk about how it's compared to today. We absolutely still get manipulated by AI. You see it on Twitter, you see it with bots, you see it with AI art. But
Yeah.
how do they tailor the experiment to fit the protagonist?
They kind of base the AI what is her name in it again? Eva?
Yeah.
Eva, is it?
Doesn't that seem to be the most generic? Like they used it in Wally. It seems to
Yeah.
always be the name that they give female AI robots, isn't it? Like Ava, Eva, to some extent, it's always that because it reminds you of Adam and Eve. So they always play off of Eve.
Um,
Hmm.
I didn't even think about that.
No.
Evil genius. I didn't think about the Adam and Eve thing. I didn't. I don't know.
The movie is loosely based on which William Shakespeare's play. There's
I
theory
said
behind that
Romeo.
too.
Yeah, what?
Just like it's a fake name, like Shakespeare. You're shaking the
Shaking the
spear.
spear. Really?
Yes, I took a Shakespeare class in college.
No, I bet you did.
Oh, I mastered that class. Made Dean's List on that one. Back to William Shakespeare.
I said Romeo and Juliet. Was that right?
That is incorrect. It is The Tempest.
Yes. Oh, okay, yeah. I just know nothing about that. Nothing about that
But if you
Shakespeare.
know, it's pretty much based off it. Just somebody tempting.
Can you give me like a little bit like what the tempt is about? Like just come on, Shakespeare
No,
me.
no.
Why?
Okay. What are the three colors prominently displayed in each scene?
I said the wrong colors. You tell me the right ones and why.
Okay. It is red, blue, and green. The RGB color scheme. And as you know, to my fellow editors, we all know all about this. It's the color scheme for computers. So you see it through the view of a computer. You see the movie through the view of technology. You see
Does
that
that
fly that just
apply?
fucking flew
Yeah, I
by?
did.
It looked like a fucking spirit or soul that just flew by. What does a protagonist do to manipulate the experiment?
He gets Nathan really drunk because he's kind of like an
Mhm.
alcoholic. Gets him really drunk and takes his key card and goes in, and he like codes and hacks his computer and changes like the system and the alarm, the not alarm, the doors and stuff so that
Isn't it
he
so
can.
messed up that when he finds out, that when Nathan's telling him about how he got manipulated and he realizes like shit. And he's like, I already did it. And you see everything just opens up and I was like, you idiots. Nathan didn't realize how manipulated and how deep he'd go down that rabbit's hole and how much that spear would shake. What happens to the protagonist at the end of the movie?
He gets what he deserves.
They deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
I
talk
think
about
so.
this. Yeah, he basically gets trapped in the house by the AI. Of course,
Duh.
idiot,
Idiot.
stupid. He's too busy thinking with his spear and not
There
with
you go.
his
Yeah.
typical.
Mind. For me, it's like you could sit here and you could talk to this AI, right? But you still know it's a robot. Like you're gonna jeopardize all these things, but to some people, they do get manipulated. Like they really do get manipulated by these machines and they get so stuck in their spirit. But again, the point is that they have so much scarring and emotional damage that they're just desperately clinging onto any spear that's just shaking all willy-nilly in their face, just waiting for
Mm-hmm.
it, waiting to get stabbed.
That was good. I
I
got
was waiting
chills.
for you to say
Felt
something.
like, woo! I'm like, what do I say to that? I was just like,
Yeah.
that was like Shakespeare the hell out of that. That was like poetry right there. What you just said. Okay.
Pinky's out when I do it. I have
So,
some fun facts. You want them now, or do you want to get into your thoughts first? Which one?
fun facts, please,
Okay.
sir.
Fun facts. The marketing team used for Ava to promote the film was in they had a marketing campaign that was on Tinder. So the people would interact thinking it was a real woman, and then she'd take them to like a launch page, which would be the trailer. So the whole time they're just like, dude, I'm gonna hook up with this chick, man. She's pretty hot. Her name's Ava. And then you just go right to this trailer and it's like, you got duped. Got him. No one loves you, Johnny.
That's hilarious. Kind of
Yes,
sad,
it
but
is.
also hilarious.
On a $15 million budget, it won Best Visual Effects over The Revenant, Mad Max Fury Road, and The Force Awakens, which are all over $150 million budgets. And this movie was made on a $15 million budget. So don't let anybody ever tell you that you have budget constraints. You just got to get creative. That's it. But the VFX was phenomenal in this movie. Ava looks so good, very realistic. And when she had like the no arms and everything, you see her put on the skin. Such a
Oh,
great job.
yes. Yes. When
Ooh,
she's putting on that skin, I was just like, first I was like, okay, so she's peeling off the skin, but how is that? How's she gonna put on the skin? And then you see like all the little like dots, how like it holds, like how it
connect.
clicks
Yep.
in. Oh, it's brilliant. It looks so good. But you take one thing and you focus all of your budget on like that one thing's gonna look pristine instead of having like a
Yep.
huge budget and spread it all over the place. Yeah, the one
Can't
thing,
splatter it everywhere.
that one perfect thing deserves it.
Exactly. The guy's name. Okay, let me see if I pronounce this correctly. Domhnall Gleeson is
Mm.
his name. Domhnall is a protagonist. Oscar Isaac is the antagonist in the Star Wars movie. They're reversed.
Actually, you learn in one of the Star Wars movies that Hux was actually working. He was like an insider. He was like a you don't know. I think.
No. I remember that, but the movies never existed, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the right
Ava
answer.
Ava is the prisoner while Caleb is free. But director reverses that, placing him in the smaller room and her in the larger room, and then she paces around like a tiger in a cage. That was
Hmm.
interesting. So you kind of see it in the whole reversal.
Oh yeah, and I like how they add like that window where it looks like you can see the outsides when she's pacing too. That like it looks more so like it's like
Menacing.
animal.
In his first scene with Ava, Caleb is shaving with Barbasol shaving cream. A shout out to Jurassic Park, a parallel to him and Dennis Nedry as their tech specialist brought in by someone using technology to create new life. So shout out to that because he knows exactly the same can, and I noticed it too when I saw it. Pretty
Yep,
cool shout out.
yep, that's
That's
beautiful.
that's something that Daniel the Sangre would have done.
Yep. Oh, it's absolutely something that he will do in the future in his movies.
Ba-dum-bum.
Those are really fun. That last one was my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's get to Marie's notes. Then we need a thing to pop up there. Now we need a thing to pop up. And Marie's notes
Ba-dum-bum.
on this.
Ba-dum-dun,
Yep.
dun-dun-dun. It's got to be you dancing, and like we'll cut out the background of you just dancing on screen while we're just watching you. Like, okay, and then after a while, wrap it up, Marie. Wrap it up.
Okay, so I this movie felt like very horror like. I was scared and tense the entire movie.
Hmm.
And because this is like I said, this is what scares me the most. This is real life, true horror. This is
Hmm.
my last one on here is everyone out there creating AI cyborgs and just AI in general. Have you never seen a movie?
Yeah.
Have you never seen a movie about AI and cyborgs and robots?
James Cameron just tweeted, I already warned you guys about this in 1984. And here we are doing this again.
That's true. Okay, anyway, so this movie, first of all, I really like how I noticed in the beginning in the filming, it was like almost like fisheye, and on like
Hmm.
the sides, it was like kind of like blurry and stuff. That was really like, ooh, I thought that was interesting. So Oscar Isaac's character, he wants to have human connection too in a way because I feel like he's like kind of like stuck there. He can't talk to anybody, and you can tell he's depressed because he drinks all the time. But whenever he's talking to Caleb, what's his name? Caleb? Was that the guy's name in the movie?
I think so.
Oh, whenever he's talking to him, he's always like, I don't want this to be a seminar. I want to just chill. I want to just hang out. I want to like just talk and like get to know you. And like he was craving human interaction as well in a different way and human connection too. They both
Yep.
were. You think during the movie that he's the bad guy, but he's not. And they make him look like this weird freak with the robots, and it's like they're robots. And even during the movie you're like, oh, there's part of you, this very small part of me was like, oh, these poor girls. No, 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 they're effing robots, people. Don't feel sorry for them. But like this like movie kind of tricks your mind slightly, slightly more people I think it would trick, because I was like, no, kill those robots, kill them bitches.
Which tells you that's the director doing the exact same thing that Nathan did to him. Started getting us a little bit where I felt the same way. I'm like, man, don't be rude to her. Or like, where he would be like really rude to her on certain things, but it's a robot.
Doesn't
It's
matter.
metal. Just got skin
Yeah.
over it.
Yeah. And when you were saying earlier about how, like, would you say, like, for the shareholders and stuff?
Oh yeah, about how he was doing this as a proof of concept to prove to the shareholders why they should either invest more or pay for the technology, thereby enriching him even further.
See, I was wondering, like, if he's showing like how far advanced the technology could go, he's proving that we shouldn't be doing this. Because look how easy the humans be manipulated. Look at this. I kind of looked at
Could
him like that.
could be, it could be, but you also have to think if he's developing these robots, why would you develop it just to say don't use it, right? It's like you wouldn't create it and advance the technology of robots to prove not to do it. I saw it more as in like it's just pure money. At the end of the day, to him, it's like he knows it's wrong and people are getting manipulated, but he just doesn't care enough. At the end of the day, he's a drunk, money obsessed. He doesn't really care. So when we say, is he drinking because he's depressed? Maybe, but he never actually exhibited anything. You just saw that he was lonely, but lonely could just also be because I'm being stuck by myself talking to these robots only. There's a whole play off of his character, and I think that's so fascinating because I think at the end of the day, he's money hungry because he didn't care about the Caleb character either. Because at the end of the day, I knew you were easily to manipulate, and that's why I brought you in, pretended that we were friends, try to get you drunk, just so I can sit here and prove that my technology works because I'm going to sell it off to these billionaires and make billions of dollars off of this. And I'm going to send you back on your way knowing you got manipulated. That's fascinating. So, in a way, he is
And,
kind of villainous. He's kind of like an Elon Musk to some extent, but his character was still fascinating because he saw things as what they were. And I think like what they actually were. He didn't try to sugarcoat and see as anything else. These are robots. This is technology. My act is to manipulate this person. So this person to me is just a test subject. That's all that they are. So that's why when the character beat him and got past the thing, it's almost like he got mad that the guy was not only able to break into his tech, into his alarm system. It's also almost like I underestimated how weak you were. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you broke into the. I didn't actually expect you were going to do this when I got drunk last night. I thought you were going to try to do it now. You're going to try to convince me. So I didn't realize how sniveling and weak you were because then you took advantage of me before I even had an opportunity to tell you what my master plan was.
kind of arrogance on both their part. It's just like both.
Absolutely.
But see, I don't know. See, this is how, when you're saying, this is how our minds work, where it's like they're not showing us this, but we are assuming different things, I think. Because I want to assume that he is depressed because he sees after robot after robot after robot, all they want to do is escape.
Because you want to see a hero. You're desperately looking like, well, we need a hero. We need somebody that has this redeeming quality. And in this particular case, I don't think there was one necessarily. I mean, you can argue that the Caleb character kind of was like he had all this he's a scarred person that was just looking for affection at the end of the day and looking for comfort. Now, the extent that he went about it, trying to find a robot doing whatever, you could argue. That's what I'm saying. You could argue. I'm not saying this is what I believe in, but you can argue that he's more of a hero in the extent of he believed that she needed to be escaped and he was going to save her life. So he did what he
Yeah.
needed to that you would do for a loved one or a friend. Now, his actions were completely wrong, but that's what he felt was the right thing to do. What I love about the Oscar Isaac character, though, and I love his character way more
Yeah.
because he understands exactly what he is.
Mhm.
And that's always what you have when you have like these great villains, right? You always have like these great villain monologues when they have like the hero chained up, you know? It's always like they go on these giant like soliloquies almost about how they're explaining about how the difference between them and the heroes that they're the same person, except they know what they are. They know what they're doing is evil and they're okay
Mm.
with that. They're not fooling themselves into thinking that there's something else. The hero always tries to tell themselves that they're trying to save the world by going about it in all these bad ways to achieve it. The villain knows what they're doing. And in this
Mm.
case, Oscar Isaac knows exactly what he's doing.
I think that's why I was just like drawn to his character more and why I think I'm like, if I had to pick a side to be on, it was
Mm-hmm.
his, even though he was the one developing the AI, which I have thoughts about. It's the people who are easily manipulated by the AI can take over if you let them. Like if you let them, if you have like that, I don't want to say like if you're like really like weak minded, that's sad. I don't want to say it like that because that's kind of insulting. But if you're like desperate enough to believe, or if you like play into the whole AI thing, like there's Instagram accounts that are AI girls that people comment on, and they have millions of
That's
followers,
yeah.
and people are commenting. I forget what this one in particular one's called. People are commenting to this AI like it can understand, and like there's actually something responding and that can think for themselves, and like the AI is posting things like, should I get a tongue ring? And people are like, yes queen, get a tongue ring. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, and then
It's
all these things like people post things on Instagram pages, be like, oh god, look at this, is so funny, and it's like a politician doing something ridiculous. I saw one of Prince Charles dancing in the street, and people are like, oh, the royalty and blah blah blah, and I'm looking at them, I'm like, are you not looking at the faces of people in the background? Are you not looking at the hands? Because AI can't get hands right, they can't get feet right, and it's
or
just like
eyes.
people just no, well, because there's no soul in AI.
Yeah.
So you can't that's
Yeah.
how I feel. It's like you can't, even when you do like CG, the eyes always look like glass and dead
Yeah.
because you can't capture a fucking soul. Anyway, and then it's just, but people are like, look at something and right away they're like, that's real. That's what it is. And that's what it is
Yeah.
right there. And they'll be like, oh, stupid. I'm like, oh. So that's why I think this Caleb guy, I'm like, you weaselly little stupid, like, oh, even for a freaking chick, like, come on. Like, I was
It's a
so mad.
robot. You literally saw her as a robot. You see what she's doing and manipulating, and you think she really cares to try to get to know you better. Like, come on, man. Like, clearly it's a rat trying to get out of the cage. Like, clearly that's what it is. And so even when you're mentioning about like the whole AI pictures and accounts and all that stuff, which I agree with you, but they even have the new trend right now on TikTok. I don't even know if it's TikTok. It's not TikTok. It's streaming stuff where it's people that are acting like NPC characters. Have you seen that where they're doing that and like people are sending like digital gifts to them? So they'll like repeat things and they'll say like their names and then like gang gang da 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 and they're acting like a computer character and it's money. So people are sending them money. So now we have humans that are dumbing themselves down for AI to appear as like an AI robot or an app. And then we have people that are trying to smarten up computers. So they're essentially either meeting in the middle or computers are literally outsmarting humans at this point because the humans don't realize that those are robots and then they're watching humans act like robots and giving them money. So you have people sending money to a person acting like an NPC character.
Dude, why do you want to be an NPC, man? A non playable character. Why do you want to even pretend to be an NPC? See, that's the thing though, right there. It's like if you're gonna do something like that's soulless, you might as well be an AI. Like you might as well.
They essentially are. And that, so I saw one that makes like $7,000 per stream. It's like, geez, $7,000 per stream. In that case, I'd act like an NPC character. If you want
No,
to see an
you
episode of
couldn't.
Nas and NPC and send us some money, maybe we'll consider that.
Never.
We
Never.
can do it.
It's interesting because like you see like what's like the better, more intelligent like form. The AI is more intelligent, of course, in ways, but like humans are like easily manipulated. But at least they have like compassion. At least they have like they can think for themselves and make different choices, and but like AIs, man, it's just their best interest at heart all the time. At heart, that's all. It's
That's it.
that's it.
They're programmed. So that's why when they have AIs that are trying to take over society or humans, and you see the way that they keep reprogramming themselves is scary. And then you see the whole AI writing, the whole, that's why the whole writer strike and everything is going on, is because the writing lacks heart, it lacks any compassion. So
Well, I was just like the whole from the first scene in the movie where it shows Caleb, I hope that even at his computer and it's showing through the camera and it's showing the facial recognition and everything like that. I was just like, dude, this is what Snapchat's been doing this for years. This is what Instagram's doing, like
mhm,
with filters and stuff, and TikTok, I think too. And now you're seeing what Snapchat and everything was doing those all those years. Because when you see like AI art, it's a bunch of people's faces melded together from
mhm,
what they've captured over time. It freaks
yeah.
me out. Sorry, I know that's not really the movie, but I love seeing
No,
that scene because I was like,
but
this is
here's what's scary about this, right? So the what we're finding out about AI, and you know how they're doing like the whole deep fake thing when they put like people's faces on stuff, and
yeah.
they've been doing this for years and years before. So they're only releasing it to us now, the public. What are they working on now? Like what else is there that we don't know about yet? That's the scary part.
They have AI robot things, which we already talked about, not just for doing it. They have like actual AI robots, and I watched this video, and it was like some sort of conference type thing where they're actually asking the AI questions, and it is so creepy. And
Yeah.
one of the questions was something like, "Do you think you could be a better leader than humans can be, like for the world?" And the AI is like, "Yes, I don't have the." Same discriminations or judgment, and to like and basically she said AI is like the was is better than any human out there. And one of
Mhm.
them they asked this AI if it would lie. And then it's like, no one can be sure if the truth is being told. And it's all like crazy. And it's just they're blinking all weird. And like everything these AIs said was horrifying.
Don't like it.
Anyway, but you know what I did love in this movie?
Hmm.
I loved how whenever they were having their sessions,
Mhm.
there was like music or like a sound in the background of a heartbeat the whole time during the sessions. If you watch this movie over again, or if you watch the movie the first time, whenever Caleb and Ava, I don't remember which
Ava.
one it is, Ava,
Ava.
are having their sessions, there's like this heartbeat sound in the background the whole time. And to me, I love when movies do that. That's happens in a lot of movies. They add a heartbeat type sound because it adds like that tension where you're like, okay, I'm feeling nervous about something. I don't know why I'm feeling tense, but also I think in scenes like that, it was like it almost tricks your brain to think that this is like an organic human this like connection that they're having, adding this like heartbeat sound. And I love when she moved, it added this like boom, boom. When she moved, it was like this movement sound. The sound is so good in this movie too.
I love these stripped down movies that show the
Mhm.
bare basis of like just the
Mhm.
human consciousness, the human heart, like what we're striving for. Like movies like this, like you can do so much with a $15 million budget. This movie proves it. Like it was nominated, going, and like we said, it won Best Visual Effects over Star Wars.
It should have.
It should have, and it's phenomenal.
Just during this whole movie, I just kept thinking like, who is effing with who? Who is effing with who? Who? What is the truth? Who is doing what? And I love that to the very end. And I was so dreading. I'm like, please God, don't let her go get him. Please, please do not let her go. And I don't want a happy ending here. I
Hmm.
do not want to see happiness. I want her to leave that dude and not look back. And she did. She walked straight out, didn't even look at him. And I'm like,
Yeah,
ah, I
like
love that
when you said
ending.
Who was playing who? The robot was playing at the end of the day, because even with
Mm,
Oscar Isaac, right? Because in order for him to run something, in order to
mm,
find out, let me identify who this technology can manipulate. Well, the
mm.
technology is also aware of these people's profiles. So it also had a hand, I'm assuming, maybe not Ava particularly, but the technology somehow is tied into selecting him. So I knew exactly how to manipulate him, knowing that that's what it took to get, Nathan's character. So at the end of the day, it's technology, man. We keep building it. It's always like they had the Tower of Babel, right? So that's a story in the Bible about the Tower of Babel, that man's ego was so big that they built a tower big enough so that way they felt like they were godly in a way to be on God's level. Well, Tower of Babel, build it so big, our ego so big that it ends up becoming the destruction of ourselves. We're doing the same thing with technology. It's like what we always say with Jurassic Park: just because you can doesn't mean you stop to think whether you should. So, are you going to rage quit? Or are you going to play this back? Ex Machina. Will it stay as an Ex Machina, or will it become your new Machina?
This will probably be, yeah, new Machina. I really loved it, and I mean, you feel it. It makes you think. It makes you feel. It makes you mad. It makes you mad. Made me mad. I
Mm-hmm.
loved it. I loved it, and I'm not rage quitting it at all. Never pushing
Mm.
that rage quit button on this. It's too
Nope.
relevant, and yeah, it's great. It's like a perfect movie.
It's one that I've seen like 4 times, and I keep going
Yeah.
back to it like every 2 years, and I keep catching new stuff every time I go. Every time I go back, because I'm not. Every time you go and you watch the movie, for the most part, it's always like on a macro level. You're trying to just incorporate what's going on. You're trying to read as much as possible. Then when I go back to rewatch it, I start picking up a lot more the technical things, the certain idiosyncrasies of the acting, like certain things that the actress chose to do. And then I just start seeing it. Then I go find detail, find detail, find detail. And it's like, man, then I start to catching the editing, the color, the sound. Mm,
Yeah.
chef's kiss on that.
This is a movie that needs to be watched multiple times, I think, because you're not just because
Mm-hmm.
then now I won't be distracted by, oh, who's messing with who. I know, so like now I can pick up on like the nuances of like that they're messing with them there. There, yeah, I want to rewatch it for sure. I have to rewatch it. I think I need to. All
So
right,
there you
so
go.
should we power surge out of here or what?
Let's power surge. Let's flip the switch on this. Let's shut down.
Thank you for watching another episode of Marie Plays It All Late to the Game with my co-host. I think you were Vitamin D, right? Vitamin D? Like you're going to remember. I don't know. I know I should know by now. You can find more of our content on our YouTube channel, Not a Strong Start. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter and Threads at Not a Strong Start. Right? Threads. Am I
Hmm?
getting this thread stuff right? Because I just don't know.
Yeah. I mean, we don't really use it yet, but regardless, follow us anyways, because it has to like take off. It's got to become a thing.
Okay, you can follow me at Marie Plays It All on Instagram.
And you can follow Daniel at King_Sangre.
You listen to us anywhere you listen to your podcasts, and you can like and subscribe and share and comment and let us know what you think about this movie if you've seen it. Let us know what you think about AI and all that stuff. And would you have let Ava out? Would you have did it for potential love, or would you be like, nah, bitch, you a robot?
That's what I
That's
would
what I
have
want to
done.
know. Me too.
I don't got time for none of that. I don't got time for
No.
Ava. Come on now.
If I got to
Get out of here. Are you going to massage my feet? Yeah. Keep it at that, Ava. Thank you.
never stop playing and never trust AI. Ever.
I would have
That's
never
it.
gotten selected for the program. Never. All I would have done is just end up sitting there drinking with Oscar Isaac the whole time. Hey, partying it up, doing some disco dancing. I would have been dancing some salsa and some stuff going that way. Hey. You can't stop yourself. You can't stop yourself. You can't stop. Ooh, 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 ooh.